Hey, good afternoon again. I want to address Webcam 2, dealing with RWS Paper Supply Company with Becca and Stacy. Um, it's a very disturbing situation. As we looked back last week around our cultural intelligence and understanding that, we need to embrace diversity. Um, and the thing that you have to really sit down and understand is, why does Becky and Stacy feel that way? What has led them to the stereotype and assumption that if you speak Spanish, then you're an illegal immigrant and that you're stealing jobs away. Um, you have to understand that you know what is it about their native tongue that is offending you or bothering you to the point to where you have to demoralize them and make them feel that they are the minority. That you would, it's a prejudice that you have to feel that you're greater than them, that you're better than them, and that's why they should speak English only and not communicate in their native tongue. And you think about the situation if the roles were reversed and you were living in a predominant, Hispanic area where maybe you and Becca and Stacy were the only ones speaking English. Would you want to be in the same situation to where they were looking and questioning you and putting you down as well? But how do we get that training across? What did we miss as a company at RWS Paper that is allowing this behavior to happen? What training, what diversity classes, what practices and policies in HR do we need to support? But you can tell it's very emotionally driven by the tone, and this is something that personally bothers Becca and Stacy, whether they're being led with their actions through content that they hear in the media, through a personal experience that has happened to them at work. Um, Maybe they feel that a friend of theirs was let go and they're being replaced by Hispanics more than they feel those that are not. So you really want to understand where the thought process coming from. But this is something that's going to be deeper than just some surface around having an opportunity just because you can't understand someone. Um, you know, Being able to speak in your native tongue is just like you and me speaking to each other in English. It's the same thing. It's a way of communication to feel comfort when you're out of your element. For those that speak Spanish, for those that speak French, this is something that brings home to them. This is something that brings comfort to them. The ability to share in a tradition, a culture, that native tongue. But for us to be inclusive, for us to be diverse, we have to be willing to accept that, to broaden our cultural intelligence and understand that there is the need for a diverse workforce for us to operate at a high level. But I really want to understand where the motive is coming from. How do we get to that point of why do you feel that way? What has happened in your upbringing or recent events that has caused you to feel this way? But this is blatant discrimination against someone who's different, who is different from you, and that you feel like you need to demoralize to make a minority and to force what you feel is right to do, and what everybody should do is to be like you, which is not what creates a diverse workforce or workplace that is open to accept change and to move forward. Thank you.